Hello, wild ones. Welcome to Magical Me. I'm Jamie Mendez, a spiritual intuitive, oracle, and energy healer. And I'm here with my weekly Moonday Oracle Message. This is going to be a message for the collective, for the highest and greatest good, for the week of April 27th, 2021. So before I get into explaining what it is that you can expect to find here today, I'm just going to give it a few moments and allow people to see that I'm live and just make sure that the quality of sound is okay today. So anybody tuning in, if you could just pop me a message, let me know that you're here, and I'm just going to check in that quality of sound there. And it is a beautiful day, as you can see. I'm outside today as I just could not resist being out here. So I'm definitely going to have to just give you a little bit of heads up that there is a possibility, although I am setting the intention that I will not be interrupted, but there is a possibility of being interrupted since I'm outside. I cannot, predict what will happen as far as noise and sound. Neighbors and people coming home from work and outside, the animals barking, etc. So I do see that there are some people viewing, but I just want to make sure that everybody can hear me and that I can see comments, because I don't want to go into this and then I can't see anything. So just scroll here. So far, I don't see any comments. So if you are, there we go. There's the first one. Good. I started getting a little nervous. Hey, Bridget and Rosemaria, welcome. Thank you for being here, ladies. How is the quality of sound? Good? Because I am sitting right next to the water fountain, and I want to make sure it's really loud. I can hear it really loudly, so I'm going to make sure everybody else hears me good. Thank you. I'm going to just do my check in with that microphone there. Hi, Eleanor. Welcome. Oh, good, Rosemaria. Thank you. Perfect. Thanks, Eleanor. All right, fantastic. So since everything is good, I'm going to really quickly just share this. Just let people know that I am live, and then I will go into, hopefully, my super brief explanations of what it is that you can expect to find here today if you are new. Scrolling. Okay. Hey, Shelly. Welcome. Glad you were able to make it. Okay. All right. And done. And since I am outside, my connection could be a little slow. A little bit delay in, between the time that I actually see your comments, so just want to give you that heads up. Oh, well, I am so happy that you were able to make it even though you're at work. Hey, Jillian. Yes, well, I gotta bring in those outdoor vibes whenever I can. Thank you so much for that, lovely. See what I missed. I know I missed somebody. Hi, Vicky. Welcome. Hey, Linz. No problem, but thanks for popping in. I'm glad you're able to make it. All right, wonderful. Okay, so I'm going to take a sip of water. For anybody who is new to Magical Me, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. I do really hope that you enjoy what it is that you find. Also, for those of you who are not new and returning, thank you so much for being here, for your love and for your support. So what this is hey, Ange. Welcome, love. I'm glad you were able to make it today. So usually every Monday, with the exception of when divine timing allows, today is obviously Tuesday. You are not messed up. Today is Tuesday. And so every Monday around 4 p.m. Eastern time, I do attempt to go live to bring forward a weekly message of guidance, just to really give us that heads up or insight into what it is that we most need to know going into the energy of the week. So I do this utilizing my own intuitive abilities as well as working with oracle cards. So I do set the intention that it is for the highest and greatest good of all of us. I set the intention that all of those who are meant to find themselves here will find themselves here watching in exact divine timing. So that doesn't matter whether you're watching live or if you're watching this on the replay. Months from now, you are here exactly when you need to be, and there will be something that will resonate with you in your life uniquely to you. So with that said, these are not individualized personal readings that I'm doing here today. This is a generalized overview for the collective for the week of April 27, 2021. And before I actually go into the oracle reading, I like to really briefly go over news and announcements, any events, workshops, offers that I have going on here at Magical Me, or with my sister business, Oracles of the Light, with my two partners, Lindsay and Karen. And so after that, I go into what is called my energy empathy forecast. So I like to talk about anything that I might have been feeling, as I am a very strong energy sensitive, and I do tap into the collective energies, the astrological energies, the Schumann resonance, anything that might be going on. I can feel it within my own emotional, mental, or physical body. And so I tend to really tune into that and see what's going on or what is coming up. And I like to discuss that because I feel like it may help people have a better understanding of what it is that they themselves might be experiencing at this time. With that said, I do also like to talk about anything big coming up astrologically, any major occurrences that we have going on that are like important to just have a heads up about and how they might affect us. For example, the full moon. Today is a full moon in Scorpio, so we're going to talk all about that as well. Then I go into the oracle reading, and I do pull a card live here for all of us, just to give us that heads up as to what we most need to know moving into the energy of the week. Again, this is really giving us that awareness to understand how we can best flow in divine alignment versus trying to struggle against the current and creating, much more challenges, or many more challenges for ourselves, if you will. So, and then after that, I like to work with a mudra for all of us. And I'm going to explain what mudras are for anybody who is unfamiliar with them when we actually get to that part of the show. All right, the segment. Not really sure even what to call it. The live. So, hi Karen and Carmela, welcome. Bronwyn, welcome. Oh, good, Rosemary, thank you for that. I was worried it was going to be a little bit too loud, but I'm so happy that it's working out. And there's just this magical, earthy atmosphere happening today because I am in my element. This is what I love. All right, so before I get too ahead of myself and distracted, I'm going to talk about the news and announcements first. First and foremost, I did forget to announce in the description part of the live that I am going to be doing another giveaway today. So the reason why I'm doing this, for anybody who does not know, this month of April, I am celebrating 9 years of Magical Me. 9 years is, well, the number 9, I should say, is an incredibly powerful number representing completion, achievement, success, kind of like leveling up. And so, it's not something that I normally don't pay attention to how many years I've been, doing this. Like, it's year 2, year 3, year 4. I really don't pay attention to that. It just so happened that I happened to be scrolling the beginning of the month, and I noticed I think maybe the first time ever that it states your page's date of creation. And to my surprise, it was April of 2012, which is really significant because 2012 was that pivotal key moment where ascension into New Earth actually started. And so 2021, how many years later was it? Like 8 years later now? Yeah, no, 9 years, right? I can't believe I just did that. I can't believe I just forgot that. 9 years, Jamie. 9 years later, it's significant. This 2021 to 2012, it's like a mirror there, if you will. So really a powerful time for us we've completed that opening, awakening, activating doorway, if you will, and we are now ready to start building the foundation there. So if that makes any sense. So it's a big thing. It is a really important, special time for me as well. And to just really be able to celebrate with all of you and to show my gratitude and appreciation for your love and for your support, because I would not be able to do what it is that I love if it wasn't for all of you. So I really love all of you. I love having you here. I love being able to help and do what it is that I'm guided to. So I want to give back. So all month long, I've been doing giveaways during my lives only. So those of you that are tuning in live, you absolutely will be able to participate in this. Today, I'm actually going to be giving away 2 of my Chamber of the Black Flame meditations again. I did give this away the first round of giveaways. I gave that away before because it was something that I was divinely guided to channel. And I won't go into the whole explanation as to how it came about again, but it was very divinely guided by the one energy that was working with me at the time was the goddess Isis, and carrying in the energy of the black ray and the black flame, which is the alchemical ray and flame of endings and death and rebirth. So it's a necessary transmutation. So I was told, I actually channeled it on the dark moon this month, and I was told that this was going to be relevant and hugely significant until the coming full moon in Scorpio. So it's been about 2 weeks now. So as today we are in that energy still of the full moon in Scorpio, the sign of Scorpio being the 8th sign on the zodiac, all about the death and rebirth. In the Black Flame meditation, there are 8 chambers, so very connected into the Scorpio energy there. Isis herself is connected into the Scorpions, and so a very powerful energy to work with as we are in this full moon of death and rebirth. And also today we actually moved into Pluto Retrograde, so Pluto being linked into as one of the ruling planets of, and yes, it is a planet. I'm going to disagree with NASA. It absolutely is a planet, especially astrologically speaking. Pluto is one of Scorpio's planets, ruling planets. So, and it is the planet of deep transformation and mystery. So incredibly powerful time, and I believe Pluto is going to be retrograde until sometime in May. I think numbers are just not meant to stay in my head, because as soon as I see them, they're gone. So Meredith Morris, welcome, beautiful, gorgeous being. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, I'm so happy that you like it. Like I said, if I could be out here all day, every day, all the time, totally would. Yeah, so Pluto retrograde, I want to say, I can't remember. Meredith, do you remember off the top of your head? I literally just looked it up and saw it. We've got quite a bit of time. Bear with me one second, because, so basically why I'm saying this and why I want to give you that information is because it does allow you to work with this meditation for those of you who already have it, who've already purchased it, for those of you who receive it today. You can actually work with this throughout the Pluto retrograde time period. It's going to be for 6 months. So as often as you feel guided and called back to working with this, you absolutely can, okay? It is still available for purchase. It is a 50-minute meditation, so quite lengthy, but there is a lot of deep transformational healing work where you actually go into 7 different chambers, the 8th one being the final chamber, until you go through your resurrection and rebirth within it. But through each chamber, you face a different aspect of yourself that is in need of being healed at this time, to push you through those motions of coming into that 0 point before you go through that rebirthing resurrection energy. So it is incredibly powerful. It is $22 if you are interested. The post is shared on my page here on Magical Me. If not, you can always reach out to me too, and I can send the information to you. All right, so that is the first thing that is going on today. I'll be giving that away later on in the segment or during the live, probably after we do the Moonday message, okay? So at the time, I'll just ask those of you who are open to participating and receiving to just comment, and I'll go from there with names, okay? You don't have to worry about doing that now. Yes, October. Meredith says, and with these outer planet transit, yes, NASA, stick to what you're good at. Oh my God. These outer transits are much larger themes in our lives. It usually isn't a surprise for those who are working with their transformations. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Meredith Morris runs Mermaid Trove. You can find her page here on Facebook. Incredible astrologer. I can never get the words out of my mouth. Astrologer. My go-to when I'm, something's coming into me and I'm wondering exactly how it works out, how it fits. Wonderful for that. So check out her work and her page, everybody. Oh, thank you, Eleanor. Thank you. Yes, you did use that. Thank you. So glad that you enjoyed it. Jillian, oh, wonderful. Angie says, I used Isis in my artwork today. Her energy is strong. You did, and I saw in conjunction with the Scorpion, and I thought that was amazing. I actually did an Isis ceremony last week, and Isis brought forward her Scorpions. So I thought that was really powerful, too. Hey, Lynette. Welcome, love. Thank you for being here. I'm glad you were able to make it. Seeing if I missed anybody, I do apologize. Trying to scroll through here. All right, so let me get into what else that we have going on. Oracles of the Light, so my sister business. If you have not already seen our page and seen the information that we have over there, go ahead over after the live and give that page a like, and this way you're able to stay up to date. I try to we cross post back and forth between Magical Me and Oracles, but what we actually just posted on Oracles is a new reading special that we are offering for the month of May, although even though it's not May yet, we already have it ready to go. So for $40, we are offering a pre-recorded video reading. This is an Oracle card reading combined with our intuitive abilities, and it is called the Feminine Legacy Reading. So because May is known for Mother's Day and celebrating and honoring the mother energy, we thought that it would be a wonderful idea to work with our feminine maternal legacy. And this reading really focuses around allowing you to have insight into what karmic cycles and imprints that you have, basically that you're carrying with you through your feminine maternal line, and not just in this lifetime ancestrally, through your reincarnation. So you're not just this lifetime ancestry, if that makes sense. So through your lineage, your legacy there. What you're carrying that is ready to actually be healed and released through you. Also, what feminine legacy gifts you're carrying, or any work that's coming up that you are actually meant to be carrying forward and working with in this lifetime. So it's a really unique and potent reading. If you're interested, again, we are offering that through the month of May. It is available now. We do have a post on on both of our pages. And again, it is a $40 pre-recorded video reading, and one of us three oracles will be doing the reading. So we kind of rotate to see who's available, or, kind of in divine timing. All right. Hi, Randy. Welcome. Thanks for being here. Let's see what I just missed. Mary says, I believe your transmission has been part of my current incorporation of Circuit, the Scorpion. Oh, wonderful. I love that. Yeah, it seems like that is, for many of us who have worked with that meditation, it really does seem like it facilitated a lot of what I'm even experiencing now. Was like the door opener, if that even makes sense, for a lot of the different things that are happening, the dream work that I'm doing. It's next level. That's all I can say. And says, Pluto brings us to October, the month of Scorpio again. Oh, thanks for pointing that out. Oh, clever. I love that. Absolutely. So definitely on the tail end of Scorpio there. So with that said, I'm going to move into, see if there's anything else that we are offering at this time. Just want to make sure I don't forget anything. And Lindsay, if you're still tuning in, if there's anything that you can think of that I'm leaving out, just let me know. I am teaching a Yusoi Reiki Level 1 class. It's a certification class. It is an in-person class on the 15th of May. So there is still time to register for that class. If you are local to the Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania, or Phillipsburg, New Jersey area, again, I am offering that class in person. Now, however, if you are not local and you would like to train with me for Reiki and you are, further away and can't make it in person, I do offer level 1 and level 2 at this time online all the time. It's a pre-recorded class. You get added to a private Facebook group and you watch the videos in your own time. And then once you've gone through all the literature, all the books, the material, then we set up and schedule your one-on-one live attunement, which is the energetic transfer of the Reiki energy for you to actually become opened, activated, and a vessel for this divine healing energy to flow through. So if you're interested in that and want more information, just reach out to me. The event for in-person has already been created on my page. And I think that might be it. I feel like I'm missing something, like there's something that's still not being shared, but if I think about it later, I'll post it, so I don't want to hold us up any further. The dreams, yeah, there's been I've had like back and forth between shadowy releasing dreams where you can tell that there's a lot of wounding that's actually coming up for release right now through our dream states. So we're doing a whole lot of work. But also there's been a lot of like activations or teaching dreams as well, where there's this like divine stuff happening and going on. So it's been incredibly, potent. Oh, the Egypt class? No, that's actually only available to my students. They are on first come, first served basis. So there is, so just to clarify what Lindsay's bringing up, there is a teacher, a beautiful soul, Julie White, who is actually coming to Oracles of the Light at the end of June to teach Egyptian Second Seiken Reiki, or SSR. So this is something that's only available for those students who are already a Reiki master. So because the spaces are limited to 5 people, it is only available at this time to my Reiki master students. I think right now I still only have 2 spaces available. If my students do not fill that space by the 1st of June, I will open it up to anybody who is local that is a Reiki master, so long as you have your credentials to prove it. I will open that up. No need to be sorry. It is actually something that I was thinking about earlier today, so it's funny that you even said it. Hello, Dawn. Welcome, gorgeous. Nope, just still going over some news and announcements. And I think that was it. There feels like there is something that I'm not saying, and I'm not sure what that is. But if it happens to come up, I'll talk about it. All right. So with that said, I'm going to move into the energy empathy forecast. So for me personally, this last week, since last Moonday, I've been really busy, so I don't feel like I've had time to really, I haven't noticed anything too heavy, with the exception that my sleep has still been incredibly interrupted. I talked about this last week too, because the Schumann resonance at that time was like through the roof, and we were having an array of G1 solar storms and solar flares. I think they have calmed down a little bit. I know the Schumann resonance went back to a decent level, so I haven't really noticed anything other than I'm still having somewhat disturbed sleep patterns, and I feel like I get a lot of like aches and pains within my body, and so that's kind of been like a reoccurring theme since last week. And what I noticed with that is that those areas are actually being talked about by a lot of other energy healers, or those who tend to work with or follow the Schumann resonance or the G1 storms. They tend to talk about this as well, that a lot of this is what is being triggered. These places where we might be feeling pain within our body could be, I'm not going to, kind of disclaimer here, it's important to listen to your own instincts, use your discernment as to whether something needs to be checked out by a medical professional. But if you do something, do get things checked out and you just can't find any reason for any aches and pains, then okay, look towards more of like the spiritual aspect of it, or the metaphysical meaning behind the pain, because this might be an area where you are storing repressed emotions, where we are actually having some chakra expansions and upgrades or activations and downloads going on. So the unexplained, like Meredith just said, sometimes can be explained in only the spiritual realms. So a lot of us, what is happening is that we are integrating higher frequencies of light. And as we do this, just to kind of keep it short and sweet anyway, there's way more to it, but we're integrating higher frequencies of light, and our bodies being denser and more carbon-based as we shift out into eventual moving back into our crystalline natures and bodies, and our light bodies trying to integrate into our physical bodies. The ascension symptoms are what we refer to, ascension symptoms are what we refer to as like the physical pain that you might be experiencing, because it does take quite a toll on your physical body. So, for example, hip sockets, especially left hip, is like holding on to the past, being unable to move beyond the past, moving beyond something. And that left hip socket is where we, store, both hip sockets actually, are where we store a lot of our repressed emotions, but not solely repressed emotions. It's also like that fight or flight, old, outdated, harmful survival patterns and instincts and behaviors where we hold trauma or fear in our body. So we can do that in many different places within our body as well. So just important to be mindful of what you're experiencing. Louise Hay has a book that I always refer to. I forget the name of it now. It's healing. It's like healing your spiritual body or something like that. But it really talks about, and you can always do a quick Google search too, for like the metaphysical or spiritual meaning behind left hip pain or hip pain or something like that, and it gives you a little bit more of added insight. And if it resonates with you, fantastic. It really does also give you a bit of an insight into any repressed patterns, emotions, thoughts that you hold on to, and it helps give you the awareness needed to learn how to move beyond those patterns, if you will. All right, so just wanted to put that out there. Other than that, I have felt really good. Today was the first time that I felt some agitation actually coming up in a big way. I had to go out and run some errands earlier today, and it just felt like everything, like it almost felt like the walls were closing in on me, if I can explain this correctly. The walls were closing in on me, even though I was outside and actually driving in my car. And it felt like there was just madness happening. Like people were driving very erratically. Everybody seemed to be in a hurry and in a rush. And it just felt like, try even as I might, like I wasn't getting anywhere. You know what I mean? Because it was just so much traffic, so much chaos. And just people didn't seem to be like really taking time to pay attention to what they were doing or be mindful of others. So I do feel like that absolutely has to do with the full moon and Pluto going retrograde today. So just be mindful of that. Make sure that you are, on the lookout above and beyond what you would ordinarily be, because a lot of people are not. It's really also a great idea to ground your energy before leaving the house. A good assurance is to always wear some grounding stones or crystals on your person if you can. Just to name a few: black tourmaline, obsidian, shungite, hematite being like the number one, garnets. I even like to work with labradorite. Or even like moss agate. Any agate really is going to help kind of give in this anchoring type of energy. Just gives you that added grounding that you need and really high energy. So with that said, we have the full moon yesterday and today in Scorpio. So full moons are always a time of completion. Also a time of heightened empowerment. So it does really bring things up to the surface in a really big way for completion, all right? Also a time where we are empowered, so it's a great time for any like ritual work, release work, wrapping and tying things up, and letting things go. Especially when you bring in the sign of Scorpio, which again is the sign of death and rebirth. So the endings for the new beginnings. I really see that happening right now with this theme that's been going on for the last probably 2 weeks. And I feel like, because this is a super full moon, the moon being that ruled by the element of water, definitely has that magnetic pull, just like we all know scientifically it does have a magnetic pull and effect on the ocean. Humans are majorly made up of water, so it's going to bring, and emotions are ruled by our emotional body, so it's going to, or the watery element there, it's going to pull them up to the surface. And the reason for it, so a lot of you could be feeling very emotional, you could be feeling very shadowy, you could notice that people around you are feeling very emotional and shadowy. There could be old cycles coming back around, these patterns, or maybe even past like thoughts, things that you thought that maybe you moved beyond, again coming back up to the surface because they are being illuminated through the light of the full moon for their death, for their peaceful release, and helping you to come into peace with these situations so that they can be released once and for all, preparing you at that 0 point. So this full moon is really bringing us to that state of in between the old and getting ready for the new, where there's like two identities existing simultaneously, if that makes sense. Then you've got Pluto going retrograde today for the next 6 months, which is going to bring about that deep transformation, helping you to shed those old layers of, what doesn't serve you anymore. Why is all of this happening? Why is Pluto so mysterious? Why are you so mysterious? Why are we so mysterious? There's so much to us that is still deeply hidden and not up into the light of day yet. So this is about really allowing us to go through these deeply alchemical processes that really break down the old us, the old version of us, what we have been conditioned to be or see through past lifetimes, karmic patterning, ancestral patterning, through familial conditioning, through society, through religious conditioning. And it's helping you to expose the truth of your soul and bringing about who you really are to the surface, and bringing it up for your recognition, for your integration of your soul's truth and alignment and true purpose here. So that's why we're going through all of this deeply alchemical dark nights of the soul, if you will. So after this point, we really can expect to see a lot of transformation happening within our lives and within us. So when situations like this come up, it can be very difficult for those that are unaware of the impact of planets and energy and how we are in sync with all of this, or are meant to be in sync. So what happens above also happens below and within and without, right? So a lot of people are not aware. So it could be, even if you are aware, it still could be difficult. So when going through these processes, it's always important to allow yourself to feel into it, to feel and allow and surrender to the process, and allow yourself to go through it safely. If you need someone to be with you, by all means, reach out to someone, speak to someone, ask them to be with you, to hold space for you for what you might be going through. Even if you just need to get it up and get it out, speaking wise, okay? And then remember to just allow that flow to wash through you and over you and out of you, all right? So I hope that makes sense. Also, one last thing before we go into the Moonday message, and I'll also check the comments then. What we also have coming up this week is the 30th of April and the 1st of May is the Celtic celebration or Gaelic celebration known as Beltane. This is a fire festival on the pagan calendar, but it is an ancient festival known as a Sabbath on the Wheel of the Year, and it is the celebration of the earth and Earth's abundance and how all life is returning. But what's even deeper with this is it is a celebration of unity and union, as it is believed that at this time the sacred feminine, the goddess, and the sacred masculine, the god energy, come together in divine union at this time in alchemical marriage to create the divine spark of life that fertilizes and seeds the earth, and all life blooms and springs forward at this time. So it's a wonderful opportunity this weekend, if you can, to get out in nature, to bring in the May. They say, it's celebrated on the 30th or the 1st, but realistically, in ancient times, Beltane was actually celebrated as soon as the hawthorn trees began to bloom. And the reason for that is because hawthorn actually has a spiritual or symbolic component to marriage, to sexuality, and to those deeply sexual and fertility rites that would happen at this time. Is Beltane was also a significant time in honor of the god and the goddess coming together in that alchemical marriage. Many people would actually get married or handfasted at this time. So it's about honoring the creation of life, the abundance of earth. And at this time you see all the flowers beginning to bloom again. So really, if you can get outside and celebrate this, if you can create a maypole and do a little dance around the maypole, have a fire, a bonfire if you can safely. If you can't do this, these are things that you can do inside. I actually created my own maypole little, obviously I can't cut down a tree and throw up a maypole here in my backyard, though maybe I want to. Maybe one year I actually will do that. Have all the ladies over and we'll do a little maypole dance. So putting that out there, seeding that in the universe right now. But yeah, I've actually created one with a little flower pot, and you can get like a wooden dowel and glue it into some of that flower moss that they have. And I just, put a little wreath around the top and did ribbons. I'll take a picture for Beltane and post it. And I kind of lit it up with like little fairy lights and stuff. So great time to be working with the elementals, the Fae energy, to give offerings to the Fae at this time. Getting out in nature, planting those seeds that represent seeding the earth with new life. So doing that as well. And any way that you can give back to nature, you can't go wrong. All right. So I think that's it for any of the events that we might have going on this week. I'm going to go through the comments and then we'll go into the Moonday message. Vicky says, experienced low lows and irritation followed by a fabulous breakthrough yesterday. Nice to move into something great instead of constant clearing. Oh, I love that. Yeah, and that's a really wonderful inspiration for everybody to recognize that when you do have those low lows, know that you can't stay there for long, that it's for an eventual breakthrough, and that's absolutely what the point of all of the shadow work is, and all of the deep healing that we're doing is for our breakthrough. And sometimes we have to have that mini breakdown. We've got to be broken down to be broken through. The only way that those beautiful rainbows get inside crystals that we all love is by having them crack so the light can reflect in. We're just like that. Okay. Ange says, you and me both. I found a jade one, super expensive. Oh, wow. We're talking about brushes and combs. That's awesome. Never thought about that. Now look at what you did. You're going to get me into buying more stuff. Rub selenite in your hair. That is so interesting. Never thought about that. Having the agitation too. Meredith says, Are aches and pains really something to focus on? I have a lot of generalized, unexplained inflammation. I haven't correlated it to messages, but I will begin to incorporate that. It's nice to not always assume it's medical. Yeah, I think it goes both ways there. It's nice to not always assume it's medical, but it's nice to not always assume it's spiritual. So it's important to really use your discernment, to really listen to your own instincts. And, if something continues and you're not figuring out, the spiritual reasoning behind something, and even if you do and it's still not going away, it's always a good idea to get something looked at just to be safe. Once everything is ruled out, you can really dive back down and go deeper into the emotional or mental or even past lifetime component of something, okay? Are aches and pains really something to focus on? I absolutely say yeah, because I think that if you're having them, you should absolutely be focusing on the why. There's way too much focus on suppression of aches and pains through medicating, and it's like, I'm not telling you to not take medication. You absolutely should if it will help you. But we should not be taking medication for an ache and a pain. And I'm also using a metaphor here. We should not be taking medication for an ache and a pain without understanding the cause of it, because at the end of the day, if the medication can heal the cause, then great. But if you're just taking, let's say, a painkiller, the painkiller is only numbing and suppressing it temporarily. It isn't healing you, and it's not helping you in that regard, if that makes sense. So I absolutely do feel like you should. And another reason that I can say that is because I am a medical intuitive. My body is incredibly empathic. All of our bodies are, but a lot of us are desensitized and shut down. My body actually shows me the moment I have a thought that's not serving me, or the moment that I'm actually going into like an emotional spiral or something. I'll actually start feeling pain in the area that particular thought or emotion is creating a blockage in my body. And so it's kind of like a warning sign that something deeper is going on, and this ache and pain might just be a warning sign before something actually becomes a physical disease or ailment. All right? So, yeah, I think so. I think it's time to stop hiding from our stuff, ignoring our stuff, and really processing through. Again, the only way out is in, right? I hope that makes sense. Great question, Meredith. Really great question. Lindsay, I wish I could paint my dreams. Oh yeah, I've had that, where I've just been like, I've got this thing, I see it in my head, I need to get this out so that it can be actualized, So if you can't paint it, how about write it and draw it? And I know you write your dreams, but for others, taking something out of the mind. We talked about this when Mercury moved into the sign of Taurus. It was all about making our thoughts physical manifest into, an actual physical reality. So if it's a dream, a literal dream or an actual dream, and I should say it's an astral dream, spiritual dream, actual dreams, you know what I mean? Making them manifest into the physical if, that's what you want to. Because a lot of times people have reoccurring themes that are awful. And it's like, okay, so at this point, maybe you're not getting what the message in the dream is. Maybe getting it out on paper will help you to work through it and see through it. Putting it into the physical helps it be released. Okay, I think that's it. If I missed anything, feel free to re-comment with what I may have missed, okay? Yeah, becoming complacent and dealing with the pain as if it's part of life. No, I don't think we should ever do that. No, because it's not part of life, and it does not have to be part of life, So thank you so much for bringing that up for everyone. It's wonderful. All right, so with that said, I'm going to go ahead now, and I'm going to move into our oracle message. And again, we've got some background noise, so just try to tune it out if possible. So, because of the energy is so earthy, so Taurus, I decided to work with, once again, the Wild Wisdom of the Fairy Oracle by Lucy Cavendish. And again, I didn't bring out the box. When I actually first bought this deck, it was in a really big, flimsy cardboard box before they came out with the really cool, sturdy Oracle card boxes. So I actually do have it as well, because I actually have the newer edition of the deck and the original edition. So that's why I don't have it with me. But again, the Wild Wisdom of the Fairy Oracle by Lucy Cavendish, for those of you who are interested in it. Okay, so we're going to bring it into sacred space. And I'm just going to ask you to kind of just take a minute to come into yourself, to detach from, whatever is going on around you. From, obviously, if you've got something on the stove or if you've got small children, don't detach too much. Be mindful. But just detach for a moment and just allow yourself to come into sacred space, as we are all connecting. You're all sharing energy at this time. So really important to just take a nice, deep cleansing breath in through your nose. And releasing all tension in your body. Allowing your jaw to relax, relaxing your shoulders, releasing any tension where you might be holding it in your stomach or in your back. Again, take another deep breath in and release. Any stress, any mental thoughts, come into this present moment. And one last deep breath in. And drop your mind into your heart space, feeling into your own being, into this present moment. Right. And so now we call forward a message for the collective good for the week of April 27th, 2021, and what we most need to hear. Woo. Oh no. Hey, Lito. Go around this way. Sorry guys. Card flew out and I have a table right next to me. I can't reach it. Could you just hand me that? Thank you. Perfect timing. You walked past just in the perfect time. Children. That's what we have them for, right? Getting. All right. So it is interesting. The number is a 21. 21 breaks down to be a 3. So 3 is that number of divine creation. So once again, it takes 2, that feminine, that masculine integration to create a third reality, or a third result, something that is altogether different. That is the power of the number 3, that creation, that Trinity number. It's also the 3 rays, the original first 3 rays that are believed to actually be responsible for the creation of the universe and everything in it. So 3 also is that creative energy. So giving birth to something new within yourself or within your life. It's also the start of a whole new cycle. As the number 9, you heard me talk about in the beginning, is all about the completion of cycles, the major achievement, and it is 3 by 3 is how we get the 9, right? So the first 3 representing the birthing of a new cycle, as a whole cycle is, it takes 3 to complete itself, if that makes sense. So this is a very powerful message about new beginnings and that whole new chapter ready to begin. And with that said, we have crystal magic, creation, dawn, the beginning. Look at that. So what's interesting is that I talked about how we are, have become, as we've fallen through layers and dimensions over time, humans have become more carbon-based, but we are originally intended to be crystalline in our structure, in our nature. And so this is why crystals have such a profound impact and assistance with us, because of the fact that they work with us in their whole crystalline being. So kind of like our brethren. And so crystal magic, the creation, dawn, and the beginning. So it's like coming back to our beginning and the dawn of a whole new day, a whole new experience, new opportunities coming forward for us to actually stand on. I'm kind of really drawn to the fact that this beautiful fairy being is standing on top of these crystals, and it just makes me feel like the new earth. I'm going to take it deep for a second, because yes, we can go into the obvious understanding of how this is going to impact our lives, but on an individual level. But I really feel like there's a strong message here regarding the crystalline grid. And because I work with crystals and the earth grid, I understand that it's like the new structure, new earth template or grid being ready for complete, like, coming online, if that makes sense. As we've been working with this for quite some time, it has been being worked on through many different healers, light workers, star beings, you name it. And Earth herself, Mother Earth, has been going through her own upgrade and ascension. And so now it's like it is ready. It's kind of like I'm seeing it right now, kind of like lock in place, and now it's coming online to work with. So this whole new earth energy we can expect now. It's not a place. It is a state of consciousness. It is something that we are continuously creating within ourselves, as we are the world. We are the universe. And so each one of us has that impact into what is a new earth consciousness, a new earth reality. And there is a massive bee. I'm surprised it didn't show up on the camera. Oh, there it goes. Which is very interesting, by the way, because the bees themselves they build that foundation, like that. Their honeycomb is like the earth matrix, if you will. So there's no such thing as a coincidence. There's something, the bees are very sacred to many ancient cultures. There were something known as bee priestesses, which is something that I do work and connect with. And so the bees being that source of creating the matrix, the worker bees being creator of the matrix for the queen bee, which represents the divine mother creator energy. And so the creation of all life begins to form from that mother, and then it forms the structure, if you will, of the honeycomb. And then from there, you have all of the bees that are, working and all pulling their own weight, and they're all going out into the world, pollinating, which is all about that symbiotic nature within the world, within Earth, but within our collective ecosystem here. So it's all about pollinating, and the bees are going out, and then they're creating, pollinating, that we can have the honey, and they're making honey, and then we can have the food and the plants, and I don't have to tell you, from there. So it's really about how now we each become the worker bees. We each have an incredibly important role in New Earth's because we have come online, but we each have that new role in New Earth's anchoring the consciousness collectively for everyone, So it's about living authentically according to your truth, because the only way that we affect change is not through others, but it is through ourselves. And so this is how we continuously create that new earth of love, of understanding the interconnectedness of everything, that what you do to someone is doing to yourself, and what I do to myself, I'm doing to you. What we do to nature, our plants, animals, we do to ourselves. So it is so important to have this new earth awareness now, to be more conscious of our imprints or our assistance in our everyday living in the universe and in the planet. All right, but on an individual level. Now, this is you activating your true self, pieces of you coming back into your reality. And I do feel like this is something that is going to be worked through over periods of time. So it isn't something that you might all of a sudden have complete full awareness of right away, but I do believe that you will at least get some understandings and inklings of that this week, or it's going to be doors that begin to open that are facilitating, they're serving as like the catalyst for you to move more into alignment with your soul's calling and what it is that is right and true for your soul, and kind of what your soul signed up to do here, if that makes sense. So for some of you though, this could be complete revelation of I'm almost seeing like no veil between your higher self and your physical self. And it goes back to the old saying that is really, it's really embodying the saying of in the earth, but not of it. And so really what that means is knowing that you are here as one and can affect change, but you are not physically, solely here, right? And your soul's origins are source love, right? So it's about really implementing that for some of you who have been doing a lot of self-work, what we would refer to as light work, working with the collective energy as a healer, working with the planet in some way. I feel like some of you might have some really profound revelations this week and this new beginning, all right? With that said, I cannot avoid the obvious here, which are the crystal magic. Working with crystals, I said this a long time ago, that crystals, well, for one, crystals speak to me in a way that is like telepathic connection, you know. They speak to everybody if we listen. But for me, crystals are, you know, I get absolutely offended when crystals are exploited, when people sell crystals and they have absolutely no idea what those crystals do, how they can affect or impact someone's life. You know, there's a lot of people that just see dollar signs and they'll get out there and they will sell crystals just to sell crystals, and never really fully understand the deep connection that crystals have. So I'm really, really connected to them in that way, that I see the crystals are alive. Crystals have a spirit, just the same way that trees have spirits and flowers have spirits. And they are here to assist us, but also they're assisting us so we can assist them and the planet, right? So crystals, I said a long time ago that crystals made me feel like they wanted to be in every single person in the world's homes. They wanted to be in their lives. They wanted to be there working together, you know, symbiotically creating a harmonious vibration and connection for the betterment of the all, for the one, you know, for everything around us. So this might be a good time if you don't already work with crystals, or you're somebody who just kind of dabbles in crystals. It might be a really good time to take stock of one, the crystals that you do have. You know, if you've just dabbled and you just have a few here and there, what crystals have you chosen along the way? Or I should say, what crystals have chosen you? Because that's how it works. We don't choose our crystals. You might think, oh, I like something because, oh my goodness, look at this shiny magic stone. I want to have this. I want to take it. And you think you chose it because of that. But really, that crystal just beamed its light into your heart and was much shinier than the one next to it. And that's why you chose it, because it chose you. So crystals come to us for whatever it is that we most need. I'm sorry, my duck got out of her pen. And so she wants to make a cameo. You might be able to see her. What are you doing? She only does this. See, she comes out. I think that you might just be missing her on the camera. She only does this when she wants something, when she doesn't get what she wants. So she is like an escape artist. She knows how to get out of her pen. So that's the loud quacking that you're hearing right now. It's my female duck, everybody, which I'm sure probably has a huge spiritual message regarding this as well. Interesting. The boy, he can't do that. Just the female, right? So adaptability. And I don't mean women. I'm not making a silent innuendo towards just women and not men. I mean the feminine aspect of all of us. Crystals, working with crystals, are a very feminine, it's a very feminine consciousness, if that makes sense. So, allowing yourself to be intuitively drawn to a crystal and then intuitively connecting telepathically with its message. Of course, you can go do Google searches and look for the spiritual meaning. But one thing that my beautiful soul sister actually talked to me years ago when I took Crystal Reiki with her was, and that's Angie Walters from Crystal Essence Healing, so shout out there, was one thing that she told me was get your own journal and listen to, when you work with a crystal, write down all of your experiences with that crystal and, see how that crystal is working with you. Because yes, there are 1,000,001 different sources of information out there on the internet, and it doesn't mean that they're wrong. But sometimes crystals work with you specifically how you need them to, and at that moment in time. And then they go away, they disappear, or you just don't feel as drawn to them as you used to, and suddenly a new crystal is shining its beautiful, sparkly light your way. So I do think that this is a wonderful opportunity for us to start connecting more into our feminine nature, everyone, men and women alike, by working with crystals and listening to how they communicate with you. Also, feeling into their energy when you're wearing them. Don't overload your energy when you're first starting out with crystals. Maybe work with one crystal at a time. Each day. She's really pissed off at me right now. She hears me talking. Working with one crystal at a time really does allow you to better feel how it's affecting you. Do you feel more grounded? Do you feel really high up there and not grounded at all? Do you feel safe and protected? Do you have less of a reaction when you're triggered? Very great things to pay attention to with those crystals. Okay. Lady. So much for that. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and move it along here since there is no one that I can flag down right now to go put her back in her pen and give her water. Well, she has an entire swimming pool in her pen. She doesn't need water, but she was drawn to the water fountain. Doesn't make any sense. So, Rosemary says, the first stone I connected with was chrysoprase. Ooh, yeah, it's a good one. I have a chrysoprase flame, and I love it. Got it for someone's baby. It was so cool. That's so sweet. Love that. Hi, Lori. Hi, Gina. Welcome. Yeah, I'm in her space. Yeah, she thinks it's her space. She got demoted to a pen. The only obsession I allow. Angie, yes. Cindy, welcome, lovely. Do you trigger my ducks? Because I swear, it's only ever when you're here. Oh, no, you might want to get her because, sorry, one second, guys. Yeah, you might want to put her back in the house. Can't let the dog out. Thank you. And your escape artist, do you want to get her? She is out of control. I think she wants, the only thing I could think of is that she maybe wants more food. I already fed her this morning, but she's running. My goodness. Yeah, Cindy, I swear, you trigger the ducks because you and these ducks, maybe that's your a spirit animal. Every time you're here, they're out. All right. Let's see if I missed anything else, and then I'll get into the mudra. Oh, Meredith, cheering me on when I brought the deck out. You wanted to go woohoo. That's awesome. All right. And I scroll back down. She is hangry. Yeah. It might be her time to, her fertile season. And so when that happens, she eats a little bit more than usual because she's producing eggs. So, and she seems to have changed her, I'm giving you all a duck lesson here. You don't need a duck lesson, but she changed her patterns, okay? Goes right into alignment with the change in energy that we're all having. So again, that crystal magic card, it's significant with what we just talked about with the whole death cycle that this full moon brought about, the full moon releasing of and when I say death cycle, I don't want to, I don't mean to scare anybody that's new to this. It's more of death of the old. It's more metaphoric than anything. Necessary endings for new beginnings. So the creation and the birthing of something new this week. All right. All right. Hi, Derek. Hi, Alexandra. Welcome, guys. I am I just finished up a lot of the live. I did the oracle reading and everything, but you can catch it all back on replay, and I'm going to be doing the mudra now. It bonded. Apparently. All right, so mudras, really quick rundown. Oh, she did it again. She just escaped again. And she is fast, man. All right, we're going to have to tolerate her honking. And then I'm going to post duck symbolism. You think I'd know it, but I don't. I will say they're white Pekin ducks, and they're huge. They remind me of swans, actually, and I do call them my swans. Interestingly, that the two swan symbolism is equated to the the divine or twin flame energy. And so twin flames actually are just a representative of the god and goddess aspect, which come together in a divine union for the creation of life. But I will post the duck symbolism later, just because nothing is a coincidence. She just jumped on top of the duck. She's right behind me. I can't believe this is even happening. She's so ridiculous. All right. Sorry, everybody. Really quick rundown of mudras, and really these are they're spiritual tools that are very simple yet very effective. They are ancient. They go back thousands of years and have been most famously known to be used by ancient Tibetan monks, but they are not limited to that. You can see many deities, like statues of gods and goddesses, actually forming mudras with their hands in these statues. And so the reason for using them is because they assist us in an array of different things, from grounding your energy, from healing through the clearing of energetic blocks within your auric field, in your layers, and in your chakras. And so utilizing these mudras that are formed with your hands, because the word mudra itself is Sanskrit and translates into seal. Kind of like a wax seal is how I see it, or a button. That's when it's kind of like broken, it's activated, if you will. But you're forming these seals with your hands. And in your hands are palms, or palms are your chakras. You have chakras here. And so this is how energy healers mostly work with their hands. And then in your fingertips, they are actually connected to the elements and act as activators together. So when forming mudras, there are hundreds upon hundreds of different mudras. When forming mudras with your hands, right, it allows you to connect into your different energy centers. Some mudras are connected specifically to one energy center, and some mudras connect to all energy centers at once. So it really just depends on the mudra. Now, each energy center, known as your chakras, actually connect into each of your four main layers in your energy body, known as your physical body, your emotional, your mental, and your spiritual, or also known as your light body. So utilizing and channeling these, or channeling energy and breath work at the same time, you're focusing intention while working with these mudras and forming them, you are actually channeling life force, pranic energy into your energy centers, which then creates the flow of energy needed to break through any energetic blockage in these bodies, which allows you to overcome and heal any ailments or physical dis-ease you may be experiencing. It also does facilitate growth in the sense of spiritual healing through expansion of consciousness for eventual enlightenment. So they are incredibly powerful. So powerful that some of these mudras actually come with cautions. If you already suffer from a physical condition, using a mudra that triggers that area, it could overstimulate the area, creating a little bit of agitation or irritation. So you're just, you err on the side of caution when using it. I will let you know in advance if it does have a caution with it before we use it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull from a deck that I work with known as Mudras for Awakening the Energy Body by Mendez-Magickal. Do you want a mudra? You ready to come do the mudra? She's like, just give me something new. Mendez-Magickal. And so I just kind of ask for a mudra to come forward that really does correspond to the message that we receive. So it's really helping to not only just hear the message, but it's also facilitating what we most need within ourselves. So really taking the power into your own hands, literally. And then we do the mudra together after I go over it. And then after that, I like to post it to my page so that you can work with it on your own. Just save it to your cell phone, pull it up once a day, and work with it throughout the week. It is going to be so incredibly powerful. Okay. All right. So, with that said, I'm going to try to focus my energy again. Maybe the honking is part of, like, instead of using like singing bowls, we can use her honking instead. Ridiculous. When life gives you lemons, make lemonade, right? All right, everybody. So we're going to do this together. So I'm just going to call upon beings of the highest possible guidance and message, or a mudra for which we most use and which we can most use and benefit from this week. She's not happy. For our highest and greatest good for the week of April 27, 2021. There we go. You know, I have to laugh because partly I knew that this was going to come out because I just said, trying to reground myself because of, her being so distracting. So I kind of have to laugh because I knew it was probably going to come out since I said that. But at the same time, if we're working with a new physical foundation, think about in your life, we are planting seeds for a new reality, which is our physical foundation. So like the physical shifting in our root chakras, or even our earth star chakras, which are connected into our physical presence on earth, as well as into the earth itself, as well as into the earth matrix and earth grid. So if we're having a new foundation really being activated this week, then what better to be working with but grounding? And this is the Boo Mudra, everybody. This is probably I don't know if I want to say it's my favorite mudra, but it is my most referred mudra that a lot of my students or my clients, even people that I just come into contact with, talking about having a difficult time, grounding enough with meditation, or to, remember, things throughout the day. Also, people who experience anxiety a lot or heart palpitations. This is a wonderful mudra to ground your energy. The way that I see it is like literally grounding a circuit of electricity, sending it down into the earth, channeling it downwards instead of all up here. Because when you're not grounded, that's where the majority of your energy is up in your higher chakras. And that is how we, it's kind of like feeling very flighty or out of body, if you will, versus coming down into our physical body. It takes 2 seconds to do this, and it is incredibly effective, all right? So how it's formed is just by, if you're making a peace sign, right? So holding your thumb with the 2 fingers there and 2 fingers out, but you put them back together, and then you would hold them and point them downwards, whether you're standing or sitting. It'll work either way. So it assists with grounding, stability, connection to your physical body. So as the new earth grid connection, right, comes online, our physical body is also part of a physical matrix. So we are plugged into, for the most part, we have been plugged into the old distorted matrix. We are now being unplugged, replugged into the new, right, in our own body template, new, pure body template coming online. So more connected into our physical body, what we are anchoring and integrating in. It reduces stress and blood pressure, and it activates your root chakra. All right. So we'll do this together. Again, I'm going to go ahead and hold the fingers together instead of making a peace sign on both hands. And if you're sitting down, just kind of point them, necks down to your hips, the ground. If you're standing, same thing, all right? I'm gonna have you close your eyes and just take a nice deep breath in through your nose and blow the breath out of your mouth. Great thing to do when you are feeling overwhelmed, stress, or just constantly on the go. So important to bring your energy back into your body and channeling any excess energy out back into Mother Earth. Again, take another deep breath in and release. Last time, nice deep breath in. And release. And you can state, grounded to the earth, I receive support and abundance. Grounded to the earth, I receive support and abundance. Grounded to the earth, I receive support and abundance. And so it is. And that's it. So you can work with that all week long. Again, I'm going to post it on my page for you. Feel free to save it to your phone and keep it with you so you can work at any time you need to. But again, very simple one to remember. Also, usually when we work with mudras, you breathe in increments of 3s. So you can actually do the 3s, and then the next day you can go beyond that to working with 6 breaths and then 9 breaths. Really just depends on what you have time for and how grounded you feel you need to be. But again, incredibly powerful. All right, everybody, thank you so much for being here with me for this magical moon day and for getting through this segment of the Duck Show. And I will see you all next week. So much love and blessings. Bye-bye. Oh, wait. Oh my goodness, I almost completely forgot, and that would have been a tragedy. That duck distracted me. I forgot to give away. I want to do the giveaway really quickly. So, oh no, people might have left. But, so if you are interested in receiving or being a recipient of today's giveaway for the Black Flame meditation, just go ahead and start commenting. So I'll give it a few moments and I'll just wait. Yeah. Well, I was guided to come outside today for a reason. And you could see, obviously, we're really all about Earth this week and connecting with Earth. And yes, the animals are all part of that. So what are you going to do? It's live. It's real life. So anybody who is wanting to be a recipient of the giveaway today for I'm going to actually choose 2 people for my Chamber of the Black Flame meditation, which is so very powerful right now with this energy of full moon in Scorpio and Pluto retrograde, which is all about transformation and really this deeply alchemical process that you're going to go through to really experience this whole a resurrection of the soul, if you will. So if you are interested to purchase the reading, it's available on my page for $22. And again, if you are open to being a recipient of this, all you have to do is comment. I'm going to go through the comments and then I will choose the name. I should have did it earlier and I completely forgot. So sorry, everybody. Let me scroll through here. Hey, Laura, I didn't see you pop in that. Thanks for being here. Saraswati, yes, love Saraswati. And thank you, everybody. I just noticed that Angie Walters did share a chant that goes along, or a mantra that goes along with the mudra. So if you want to combine the chanting with the mudra, you can absolutely do that. Thank you so much, Ange. Oh, your dog came over. Oh, interesting. Energy flowing there. Okay, Carmela, I see you are open. Lori, you are open. Okay. Dawn, you're open. All Just give it a few more moments, just because I know comments can sometimes be delayed. So anybody open to receiving that has not already received it or purchased it, the Chamber of the Black Flame meditation. Lynette, I just read your comment. I have to say, as you were grounding us before you pulled your card, it was so relaxed. Sorry. I forget how loud the microphone and sensitive the microphone actually is. Oh, I'm so sorry. I mean to laugh, but I can see it in my head. Sorry. All right. I'm only seeing so far Carmela, Dawn, and Lori saying open to receiving. So anybody else wanting to receive, just leave a comment. Let me know. Give it a few more moments. I know some of you have actually already purchased it. So funny. Maybe there's a whole lesson too involved today in just being open to the unexpected, and kind of just learning how to just kind of go with the flow, because it's quite interesting. All right, so if there's no one else interested, and if I am not seeing your comment, please just send me a message or something, because sometimes the comments get hidden. But with that said, I'm going to go ahead and I am going to give away the meditations to Carmela and Lori. So congratulations again. Thank you, everybody, for your support and always being here with me. And much love and blessings. Enjoy your week. It's going to be quite magical. Bye-bye.